So this is my review of the Archmax HV-6 rucksack. I classify it as a kind of small, lightweight pack, 6 litres, not many pockets, no fancy features. Let's see what I think of this pack. So firstly, the mass weighs 123 grams, which is really, really light. Materials are all very thin, no zips, not too many pockets either. Does have 3 proper buckles though, I'll come on to those in a minute. But mass, yeah, very impressive. You barely feel it when you put it on at all. Whoops, there's my watch beeping. 1 hour done, only 3 to go. Fit and comfort. So when I got the pack and put it on, I thought, this thing's crazy small. I'm gonna be wearing it like a bra. But actually, once you get some stuff in it, it fits pretty nicely actually to my chest. And show you that. It's not right round your waist, it is fairly high. The lower slung pockets are still only fairly high on my chest, but it fits very well indeed. I've missed my turn. Really comfortable straight away. No issues with rubbing or anything like that. Watch going again. Must be 10k. And very little bouncing. I think the only issue I have with bouncing is there's a point with the bottles. When they get to a certain level, they do start to bounce a bit more, which is surprising. I've not seen that in other packs. They're fine when they're full and they're fine when they're nearly empty, but there's a critical bit in the middle where they do bounce a little bit more, but it's not too bad. The fit and adjustability, so as I said, 3 normal buckles, no loops, just normal standard buckles on the front clip, sorry. And having 3, I think, is probably a good thing. It does help, but I really had no problems whatsoever getting the fit adjusted. Just put it on, did them up a bit, it's fine, easy. Only 2 negative points, I'd say. I think the first one is these straps. They're quite long, especially for my small chest probably, and there's really nothing to do with them. They don't roll up. You can kind of tuck them down the back. It doesn't really work. I tend to tuck them in the pockets, but then when you get things out the pockets, you tend to dislodge them, and then I have to put them back in again, which is a bit of a pain. Quite like the Harrier ones that roll up. The other is, I guess, a consequence of the lightweight, but I've got another pack that's about this weight, and I've not noticed it so much in that one. And that's just that anything with any kind of edge or corner on it in the back, you really feel it digging in your back. You can't put a GoPro like this in here. It will not be good. Even dry sacks with first aid kits or compasses or stuff like that in can be a problem. Reservoir looking nice today. So the whole point of having a pack is to put stuff in. So how does the HV-6 compare in terms of storage? Well, I'd say okay. I think for the mass, it's quite a decent volume, 6 litres. The pocket in the back, you get a 2 litre dry bag, shove quite a lot of kit in there and throw it in. The 3 rear pockets, yeah, they're okay. The 2 on the side are a little small, but they're quite helpful for putting a wind jacket in. I've got one in now just in case it gets a bit cooler later on. Just note what I said earlier, especially those pockets, they're the ones that really jab you if you put something sharp in. On the front though, not the best, I'd say. Apart from your 2 water bottle pockets, they're just the 2 on the side. And really, for me, that's not enough. There are no small pockets, which is a pain. I keep electrolytes in a little plastic bag. I have to put them in this big pocket. Hope I don't lose them. Really, you've got up here, you've got this space above the bottles. It's so easy just to have a little pocket. It doesn't even need a zip or a closure on it, just a little one you can put electrolytes. And the other thing I always require from a pack is a rubbish pocket, because in my experience, if you put rubbish in a big pocket, or indeed if you put rubbish in a pocket with anything else, when you go to get something out of that pocket, the rubbish is going to fall out, and that's obviously a big no-no. So I always like to have a dedicated rubbish pocket, and you just can't do that with this pack. The other thing is, these side pockets, they're pretty big. You can get a lot of stuff in them, and the bounce is good, or lack of bounce is good, I should say. But the real problem is accessibility. The opening's very, very narrow, which means there's no way anything's going to fall out. You could bend over, tie your shoelaces, whatever you want to do. It tends to be you put things in, and then you're trying to get them out, and you end up having to take everything out to get the thing you put in first. Accessibility of the pockets is just as important to me as their volume. And also separation. It's always nice to have different pockets for different things. And if you have these pockets on the front for your hat and your gloves, it's nice to have some on the side here for bars and things like that, food. And ooh, that's not looking good. Ooh. Guess we're going left then. We're not going that way. They've gone for a very lightweight ethos, which I understand, but it's not the most flexible in terms of storage. Also, accessibility of the rear. I can only just reach the top of that with my finger. If there was a jacket in there, I would really, really struggle to get it out, or a cap or something like that. If you put your cap in the back, you want to get it back out again. So to get anything out of the main pocket, you're gonna have to take the pack off. Even these little ones, they're okay, you can kind of get to them, but I think the problem with those is that the kind of rim of them, the lip of them, is the same height as the back, which means when you put your hand back there, there's no differentiation between the lip of the pocket and the whole fabric of the rucksack, which makes it very hard to get your fingers over the edge and prise it open. It's always better to have the rim of the pocket lower than the rest of the fabric, and then your fingers naturally find that edge. Or put a tab on it as well, like the naked belt I'm wearing. It's got tabs on all the pockets here, so it's easy to get them, and same on the back. The water bottle pockets themselves, yeah, they're okay. You can get the water bottles in reasonably easily. The main downside with these is that they'll only take tall, narrow bottles if you're using a 500 milliliter soft flask. They won't take wider bottles like the Decathlon ones I like, with the ceiling tops, which is a bit of a shame really. So salmon ones, yeah, they're okay. Anything wider, be careful, you will not get them in. There's no loop at the top here to put around your bottle, so the tops of the bottles can move, but there is a nice tab to pull to help you get them in, which is a nice touch. There's no support for a bladder system either. I suppose you could put one in the back pocket if you really wanted to, if your main storage requirement was for water rather than in gear, but there are no loops. It would be quite hard to attach over the top, but I suppose some ribbons would do. You could manage it, but it's not intended. So this run is going to be just under 40 kilometers. I've done it once before, I think it was 4:08. I was aiming for about 4:10 today, so should be about right. So far we're about 2/3 of the way through. It just links up a lot of villages with paths across fields really. Some of it is on the route of a race I did some years ago called the Shires and Spires, which is a 35-mile race. So who are Archmax? Well, a Spanish company. Don't have a huge presence in the UK, but there is a UK distributor. You'd see them a lot if you go to races on the continent. Pretty popular there. I've seen them advertised on some UK ultra running websites, but this one is a bit special. If you look down here, it's actually a race special edition vest for a race that hasn't happened yet. So this is the UTMB Val d'Aran pack, which is a race that hopefully will take place this year in Spain. It was meant to be the inaugural event last year, but it was cancelled. And this pack was a special offer to entrants, of which I was one and still am. Hopefully going to get to the race this year, but not super hopeful at the moment. Comes in some pretty funky colours too. You can get a Union flag version. Actually quite like the looks of this, with the subtle black and white, which is the Val d'Aran colours. Yeah, it looks all right. So what about a comparison to the competition? Well, I've got two Salomon packs, the Advanced Skin 5 and then the S-Lab 8. And really, I put this in the same class as the S-Lab in terms of its weight, stripped back nature, lack of features and gimmicks. But I'm afraid I think the Salomon wins definitely. Just the accessibility of the storage, both rear and front, is much better in the Salomon. And I think for the same, almost the same mass, I think the Salomon's 125 grams from memory. And it's got a fair bit more capacity. Probably saves a bit of weight, not having buckles and things like that. The Salomon, it's just got loops. Probably more expensive. I'll have a check these days and put the prices, comparative prices below the Salomon, that is. But I think if you're after a racing pack, something super lightweight, I'd definitely be using the Salomon, I think. So what would you use this for? I think summer runs like this, to be honest. I've got some water, I've got another bottle in the back, I've got a first aid kit, phone, usual bits and pieces. So my summary of this pack: overall, I love the lightweight. It's crazy light. Fit a reasonable amount in it, just not all very accessible. But with that lightweight comes some, I'd say, significant drawbacks. The comfort of things you're carrying. The packet itself is extremely comfortable and well fitting, but when you put stuff in it, suddenly it become a bit painful. It's a shame having to carry another belt just to put this GoPro in. It'd be so nice to just pop it in the back, pull it out when you want to film with it. Build quality seems okay so far. There's a teeny bit of fluff coming out here, just some on the corners of the seams, but I'll cut that off, no big deal. Can't remember how many kilometers I've done it so far, but I'll put it on the screen. And it's holding up fine. Without the special offer, ordering it in the UK, quite expensive for what it is. I think the low feature level really makes it quite an expensive pack. If you want to keep things simple, have a nice light pack, you don't want to be weighed down too much, and you don't need to carry an absolute ton of stuff, then maybe definitely worth a look. So I hope you find this video useful. If you do, please press the like button and subscribe for more videos like this. See you on the trails. No offence, mate, but I'm kind of glad you're in the other field.